I will be talking about the ways of being an effective JCC chairman. Okay, first you need to do is to have the knowledge about the committee. What does that mean? It directly means that gather all the information you can possibly find about the topic, the details, and the chronological order. That would really, really help you. Okay, the first thing is try to dig deep in the history, know each and every aspect. You don't have to know, but it will be definitely better of you to know each and every aspect of your history, of your flow, of, and the chain of events. Know the chain of the events, but do not let them control your attitude, your ideas, and your solutions to the certain ideas within your cabinet. That is also important. So you have to stick, you don't have to stick to the chronological order of the history. You can alter it according to your ideas of your members, but it will be better of you to go on with the original flow as well. So the second thing is know your cabin. This is important. And when I say know your cabin, I directly mean learn the delegates, which can also be the ministers, the commanders, and etc. Because according to your allocation of your cabin, and learn them, learn by their name, their duties within the cabinet, and why they are there in your cabinet. Okay, what are their qualities? So you're gonna know their duties, their jurisdictions, and capabilities, which will help a lot when you're assigning them to write directives. That is important because you're going to need some certain individuals to write the individual directives within the cabinet when you are in need of certain information or a certain, I don't know, operation within the cabinet. After doing them, you have to be, I don't know, setting the line as the participant chair. So your attitude as the participant chair will, I don't know, differentiate a lot within the committee. Okay, for the people who know me, I'm probably known as one of the, I don't know, firmest and most serious chair, the present chair of the JCC cabinet, probably of the history in the MUN conferences. And I can also approve that. That is true. And sorry, not sorry, but being too friendly will not help you. Will not help you during your time in JCC cabin. And because of course you're going to be friendly with the delegates, with your other members of the cabin, but they have to know that there is an authority in their cabin, and it is you. You don't have to scream and yell or throw things at the members. By the way, I've done 3 of them. I've done all of them, but you don't have to do that. But you have to set a certain line that if they want to do anything in the cabin, they have to go through you first. That is important. Okay? So that'll help you a lot to use your time efficiently in the JCC cabin. And the members or the former ministers, participants of the JCC members would know that the time means everything in JCC. So you don't want your delegates to waste their 15 minutes or 10 minutes within an unnecessary topic to be discussed, which will have nothing to help your cabin. Okay, the second thing is try to create a team mentality within the committee. Okay, I cared this one a lot as my experience being as the president chairs of the JCC committees, because if there's a team mentality in your cabin, it will be a lot easier for you to organize the structure of your cabin. So if there's a team which is oriented by the same goal, it will help a lot the progress and the flow of your cabin. And you will have like incredible results if you can create the team mentality within the committee. That is important. And the third thing about your attitude as a participant chair would definitely be you have to wait for the delegates to come up with the ideas, okay? And the topics that you are going to be discussing within the committee. But that doesn't mean that each and every time the delegates have to come up with the ideas. You can guide them about, I don't know, you can guide them about the mechanism, you can guide them towards the right idea to be discussed, and they will make, it'll actually be a lot easier for them to conceptualize the JCC flow here. Okay, so you're going to open the flow here, and for the ideas, you will be waiting for the ideas. But if you're waiting for a specific idea and it hasn't come up by any other delegates, that means that you can make them talk or discuss that idea specifically. You have that authority. Okay, in the MUN conferences, everyone talks about the chair discretion, and JCC has like the most usage of the JCC, the chair discretion. Okay, you can do that. You can make them, okay, you have 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, whatsoever, to discuss only this. And if I hear any other ideas than this one, I'm not going to be, I don't know, indulge, okay? I don't want to be here any other words, any other ideas, any other topics than this one. You can do that within the JCC cabinets. Once again, you don't have to do that, but you can do that. And most of the time, it will be better for you to do that. Okay. The fourth thing is be quite sure that each and every crisis prepared by our crisis teams in the conferences has been understood clearly. Because this is important. As the JCC members, as the delegates, they do not have a lot to cover in the JCC study guides. Because it's the joint crisis committee. Each and every crisis, each and every update, which will be coming from the academia, the crisis team will actually directing you to do something. So if a crisis comes into the committee, you have to be sure that each and every other member of your cabin knows that update. How can you do that? You can give them, I don't know, 1 minute or 2 minutes. It depends on the duration of the crisis. 2 minutes of silent reading time, and then you can ask if it's clear or not. And if it's not, you can explain crisis. You can spend your times by explaining the crises, because it's not a waste of time. They have to know the crises. They have to know the progress, what happened. They have to have an idea about what's happening in the JCC cabin or any other place in the earth right now in your reality. So that is important. And the last important thing is definitely the fact that you have to inform the delegates regarding the types of directives and press releases. Okay, make them understand the difference. And how can you do that? Most of the conferences have the, like, first in the something like the introduction part of the JCC cabin about the directives, the documents, the progress. You can do that and explain them, but if it's not clear, because sometimes you have like the first timers in your JCC cabins or your first JCC times as a delegate. So you have to explain the types of the directives and what are they good for? Why are we using the directives? The individual directives, the collective directives, the community directives, and etc. So you have to make them understand this one. And once again, you have to assign the right person to write the right directive. That is also important for the JCC experience. And still about the attitude, you have to preserve your attitude throughout the sessions. You cannot be extremely friendly for the first 3 sessions and then be like, all of a sudden, more serious and firm, screaming, yelling. into the last, I don't know, 9 sessions, the rest of the sessions. You cannot do that. And you have to be, I don't know, consistent about your attitude throughout the whole session. That is also important. And this time is actually hurting my delegates a lot. Second one, be flexible about the time constraints. And the explanation is do not fear to let them have only 15 minutes of lunch. I did that like probably more than 10 times. They didn't have coffee breaks. They didn't have a proper lunchtime like the other delegates do, like the GA committee's delegates. Because in my point of view, you have to earn your time in the breaks. Okay, if the progress is good, if you're, I don't know, progressing smoothly within the cabin, you're doing the right things to be done, I have no problem with having, I don't know, 1.5 minutes of lunch, because it is your right. You have to eat that lunch. But if you're not, I don't know, sufficient, if you're not doing your best in your JCC cabin, I can make you try for 1 additional hour, which will be cutting out of your lunchtime. So you can do that. I'm not strongly recommending this one, but if you try to achieve something in your cabin, you can definitely do this. Most importantly, this is the whole point of JCC experience, by the way, about study guides, about crisis, about the visual, I don't know, supports and the updates within the cabin. Make them enjoy the JCC experience with each and every details that I just listed off. Okay? So if you can manage to do the things that I just listed as in my presentation, I can guarantee that your delegates, your members will definitely enjoy the JCC experience. They will probably hate you as their chair, but they will love the JCC experience. But still, they're going to hate you. Okay, and the last thing is make sure the process is conceptualized by the members of your cabin. So in the first session, first 15 minutes of your JCC cabin, and the last session, they have it all. Okay, they have the control over the flow of the 12 sessions. That is important, and it is hard to manage because a lot can happen in the JCC conferences, the committees, but you can definitely do that.
Thank you a lot. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to write them to the chat box. We are actually waiting for your questions.
Yeah, I can answer questions if there are any.
You can raise your hand if you're just typing and want us to wait or make an emoji. Okay, seeing none, thank you so much for your remarkable speech. Even if we faced technical issues, it was really good. And
once again, sorry for that, by the way.
Thank you. I want to thank you personally because I want to be a JCC chair, and I learned a lot from you, even just from this session. Thank you.
You're gonna make it like hell of a JCC chair. I can guarantee it.
Thank you a lot. We have a 30-minute lunch break now. See you all at the next session, and thank you again.
You're welcome, and have a nice session.